Today is Tuesday, June 23rd. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on Chapter 11, A Vision for You. We will be reading page 157. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition 11. We'll read the rest of page 180. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this morning, my friends. Woke up early today before everybody else. I'm still beaming. My wife and I, we went to this place called Anarchista again. And this time we went to the Fireflies simulation in the middle of the woods. And it's cool because you walk across these tree bridges and everything. And we had the kids with us. And my son said to me, he's like, "Dad, take a picture." And I was trying, I'm trying to take pictures, but my phone doesn't take great pictures in the dark. And I looked over at him. I said, "Buddy, it's not doing it justice. Let's just enjoy this." And he goes, "Yeah, I want to make sure I remember this for the rest of my life." He said this at 10 years old. The wisdom we can learn oftentimes from children. It's crazy. And it definitely was one of those great situations. So if you're ever in the Pigeon Forge area, go check out Anarchista. It's awesome. They have got little shops up there, beautiful backdrop in the Smoky Mountains. They have light show, actually 2 light shows. We went to the Fireflies exhibit, which is included in the tickets. But man, what a great time. And the beauty was that I was sober, present, and I spent that memory with the people I love the most. Man. That's got me beaming at 5:30 in the morning this morning. So with that, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, in the last couple of days, we have been recapping the origin story of AA here with Bill meeting up with Dr. Bob. And Dr. Bob made his amends yesterday, face-to-face with all of his patients. And now they're both realizing that, I think it said yesterday, the need to be spiritually active. Yeah, here it is. Both saw that they must keep spiritually active. It's very wise on their part. So they phone a hospital and they're meeting with potential AA number 3. So we're on 157. 2 days later, a future fellow of Alcoholics Anonymous stared glassily at the strangers beside his bed. "Who are you fellows, and why this private room? I've always been in a ward before," said one of the visitors. "We're giving you a treatment for alcoholism." Hopelessness was written large on the man's face as he replied, But that's no use. Nothing would fix me. I'm a goner. The last 3 times I got drunk on the way home from here. I'm afraid to go out the door. I can't understand it." For an hour, the 2 friends told him about their drinking experiences. Over and over, he would say, "That's me. Yeah, that's me. I drink like that." The man in the bed was told of the acute poisoning from which he suffered, how it deteriorates the body of an alcoholic and warps his mind. There was much talk about the mental state preceding the first drink. "Yes, that's me," said the sick man. "The very image. You fellows know your stuff all right, but I don't see what good it'll do. You fellows are somebody. I was once, but I'm a nobody now. From what you tell me, I know more than ever that I can't stop." At this, both the visitors burst into a laugh. Said the future fellow anonymous, "Damn little to laugh about that I can see." The 2 friends spoke of their spiritual experience and told him about the course of action that they carried out. He interrupted, "I used to be strong for the church, but that won't fix it. I've prayed to God on hangover mornings and sworn that I'd never touch another drop, but by 9 o'clock, I'd be boiled as an owl." Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. So the first paragraph is talking about how AA has been helped by people who have spread the word via television, radio, and all these things. But you can almost hear the but coming, or the caveat here. So we're going to read the next paragraph, or next two paragraphs. So the rest of page 180 and top of 181. The inquiring voices are not all alcoholics or their families. Doctors read medical papers about Alcoholics Anonymous and call for more information. Clergymen see articles in their church journals and also make inquiries. Employers learn that great corporations have set their approval upon us and wish to discover what can be done about alcoholism in their own firms. Therefore, a great responsibility fell upon us to develop the best possible public relations policy for Alcoholics Anonymous. Through many painful experiences, we think we've arrived at what the policy ought to be. It is the opposite in many ways of usual promotional practice. We found that we had to rely upon the principle of attraction rather than promotion. "24 hours a day, June 23rd. AA thought for the day. No chain is stronger than its weakest link. Likewise, if you fail in the day-by-day program, in all probability, it will be at your weakest point. Great faith and constant contact with God's power can help you discover, guard, and undergird your weakest point with a strength not your own. Intelligent faith in God's power can be counted on to help you master your emotions, help you to think kindly of others, and help you with any task that you undertake, no matter how difficult. Am I master of my emotions? Meditation for the day. You need to be constantly recharged by the power of the Spirit of God. Commune with God in quiet times until life from God, the divine life, by that very contact, flows into your being and revives your fainting spirit. When weary, take time out and rest. Rest and gain power and strength from God. And then you'll be ready to meet whatever opportunities come your way. Rest until every care and worry and fear have gone. Then the tide of peace and serenity, love and joy will flow into your consciousness. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may rest and become recharged. I pray that I may pause and wait for the renewing of my strength. Daily Reflection, June 23rd. Trusting others. But does trust require that we blind ourselves to other people's motives or indeed to our own? Not at all. This would be folly. Most certainly, we should assess the capacity for harm as well as the capability for good in every person that we should trust. Such a private inventory can reveal the degree of confidence we should extend in any given situation. As Bill sees it, page 144. I am not a victim of others, but rather a victim of my expectations, choices, and honesty. When I expect others to be what I want them to be and not who they are, when they fail to meet my expectations, I am hurt. When my choices are based on self-centeredness, I find that I am lonely and distrustful. I gain confidence in myself, however, when I practice honesty in all my affairs. When I search my motives and am honest and trusting, I'm aware of the capacity for harm in situations and can avoid those that are harmful. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. It's some beautiful stuff. I love the most recent reading here about trusting others. I am not a victim of others. Has anyone else been guilty of saying, well, the reason I drank was because so-and-so did this or that? I used to use that as an excuse, and especially when I was a kid. Oh my gosh. Well, I wouldn't have done this if she hadn't done that, if my sister hadn't done this. I mean, we hear how childish that sounds, but that's kind of the same thing that we're doing oftentimes with expectations. And also, at the same time, like, we can set healthy boundaries. Real quick honesty here is I have a family member that I have to do that. There was a point where this particular family member was on my inventory. But I realized through doing the work and the inventory that, hey, there were things in me that I was letting this person affect, that I needed to turn over to my higher power. And there were things that my expectations of the way this person should act was not fair. And also accepting the fact that this person does things that I cannot control. So through praying for this person over and over again, that they'd have good health, prosperity, and happiness. It's what the appendix, one of the personal stories talks about. For those you resent, pray for them. Try it for 2 weeks, I think it says. And for this person, I've had to pray a lot longer than 2 weeks. They were right toward the top of my resentment list. My number one resentment was always me, but this one was near the top. So I'll say this. By praying for this person over and over again, eventually the anger and the resentments in my heart melted away. And I can say this hand on the Bible. I can say that I don't resent this person anymore, which is a beautiful confirmation that these steps work in my life. But at the same time, I have to put these healthy boundaries into place to protect our relationship. And that sounds so ironic, but it has been the honest to God's truth. I no longer resent this person, but I don't necessarily want to be around this person all the time. If that makes any sense. Because, the older I get, the more and more I just want to surround myself with positive people. But anyway, real quick, the one I originally wanted to talk about was the 24 hours a day, talking about rest. I didn't realize, I'm a goer. Well, let me put it this way. I am a morning person, and I was trying to squeeze in like 50 things to do in the mornings, like go to the gym, do a Bible study, do my planning for work, do all these things right in the morning and all throughout the day, maximizing every single minute I can. But I've learned that when I don't rest and commune with my higher power, when I don't take that time to recharge, everything else starts to fall to pieces because I get stressed out. I get angry. If something comes up that was not in my plan, and I put that in air quotes, you can't see, it would foul me up. And again, I'd stress out. And stress can literally kill us. Or it can build expectations that are not met, that can turn into resentments, and oh man, it's a mess. And it can eventually lead to a drink or anything else that's harmful. So if I simply take time to rest, one thing that's been a game changer for me, and I've said this many times, is quiet time in the morning with my higher power. Quiet time during lunch with my higher power. In my old school, what I would do is I would walk out of the building. I'd cross this little street, and I'd just sit and have lunch by the soccer field and the baseball field and be alone with my higher power. Marveling at his creation, praying, or just simply being. And just in that 20-some minutes of time, I'd be refreshed. I'd come back in the building the second half of the day and be a better teacher than I was when I first walked out. Didn't take much, but that little time to recharge, man, was a game changer. I've been doing it for probably about 6 or 7 years now. And I'm at a new school this year, and I got to find my spot. I'm scouting right now, trying to find my spot where I'm going to eat lunch and rest. Same thing in the gym too. I love to lift weights, and a lot of times I always thought more was better. Just keep lifting every single day, all the time. But at least for my body, I've gained a lot more PRs when I prioritize rest, because it gives time for my body to heal. Well, it's the same thing in our spiritual walk, right? If we take time for our spiritual health to heal, we show up stronger. I've learned this to be true in my life. It's crazy. But rest is actually a good thing. I used to think it was a selfish thing. Now it's actually one of the most selfless things we can do, because we're going to show up best for those we love the most. And our light will shine from the inside out. An attraction rather than promotion, right? People are going to see that light in us and go, wow, I wonder what they have. And that's nice. Not in the sense that it lifts ourselves up, but lifts the work and the fruit that our higher power has done through the steps and the beautiful miracle of Alcoholics Anonymous. So with that, my friends, that's all we have time for today. I hope you all have a great one. As always, please know I don't speak on behalf of AA or NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I am just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery. Honored to be here today. Also, I want to say thank you for all the emails. My favorite part of doing this podcast is hearing from you. Maybe it's just a quick check-in from wherever country you're from, quick email talking about your experience, strength, and hope. It blesses me more than I know how to explain. I just love hearing from different people, from different backgrounds, different locations, yet we have this common problem and common solution together that binds us and gives us a closer relationship. I love it. So if you ever want to email in, the email is bigbookdaily@gmail.com. If you ever want to call in, I love hearing the phone calls. We've gotten a few. I'd love to hear some more. I think the number is 865-309-5486. And if I'm wrong, just check the show notes. It's in there. Just call that number. It's a voicemail. I don't know how long it'll let you leave a message, but you can talk about the daily reading, talk about your experience, strength, and hope, or anything else for that matter. If you just want to say hi and don't even want me to post it on the podcast, just let me know. But regardless, I love hearing from you all. So please, if you've been thinking about it for a while, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you and hear what you have to say. And also, last thing, since I'm on this, is we are going to be starting all over again in July, July 1st. So if you know of anyone that might be able to benefit from this podcast, just this daily check-in every day of recovery readings, please spread the word about Big Book Daily. I don't promote any episode. I'm not on social media or anything like that. Once again, attraction rather than promotion. Although technically, I guess I'm promoting right now. I don't know. But please spread the word if there's anybody that you think would benefit from this. I look at the numbers occasionally, and there's an ebb and flow. It looks like people come into the podcast, people leave, and that's just the way it is. But I have noticed that there seems to be a little bit of an uptick at the beginning. Anytime we're about to start the Big Book again. And just to give you a heads up, so what we'll do in July, we will go back through the Big Book, probably starting with chapter 1 or maybe even earlier. Of course, we'll go right back to the beginning of the 12 and 12. But I have 2 new recovering readings that we're going to read from that I personally never read from before, so I'm really excited. We're going to do the NA Just for Today and the Al-Anon Courage to Change devotionals. So stay tuned for that. That's only, 7 days away. But anyways, my friends, I'm well over, so I better shut up now. But I hope you all have a great one and are forgiven another set of 24 hours. I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.